Hello everybody, welcome to today's message. Wakenya wenzangu, where there is no vision, people perish. And I repeat, where there is no vision, people perish. I want to say this, our Kenyan football stadiums are empty. Players are living in abject poverty because there is no vision for a Kenyan football. There has never been a vision for the Kenyan football, and you will believe what I'm saying. I want to ask you this. We have had 19 football presidents since independence. What is there to see as a legacy? What foundation has been put in place for the future generations to inherit and to build on? Whenever there is football elections, how often do you hear these aspirants talking about the football economy? Because unless we have a football that is able to generate economy, it does not matter the population size of our country. It does not matter whether you are playing in Kenyan Premier League or at the grassroots. You will continue to live in abject poverty. Therefore, football revolution, it is a must in Kenya. And I want to repeat this. We have seen what has happened with the FKF. We have seen the caretaker committee has come and gone. Now we have another committee called the interim committee that will last for 5 weeks. After that interim committee, I can promise you this. There will be a normalization committee which progressively is going, is going to return the officials of FKF as we know it. Now, I want to ask you this. We are in FIFA ban. It started with a suspension, now is a ban. So we had a clear opportunity to actually sort the issues that are causing problems in our Kenyan football. Because in the past, people always said about the FIFA ban. What will happen if the government do ABCD? What will happen if we interfere with FKF running of football? We are going to get banned. This has been the impediment, the issue of FIFA ban. FIFA came in, banned us. Now, have we taken that window? Have we taken that opportunity to do what is right? It is better to get a ban, but do what is right for our football. Our football will benefit, our economy will benefit, our players will benefit, the referees, the coaches, because what is right would have been implemented. But I want to say this, the few amendments here and there in FKF constitution by the caretaker committee will solve no problems in Kenyan football. In fact, there will be no impact. If anything, it will be worse. The status quo will return in Kenyan football. But we had a window, we have squandered it. We had an opportunity to change Kenyan football. It has been squandered. I want to say this, the Kenyan football revolution opportunity still exists, has not been squandered. And this is why I want to say here, I want to announce here that earthquake is coming in Kenyan football. In fact, call it a tsunami that hits the sea and the water rises and it goes everywhere, unstoppable. This is what has been looming in Kenya. It has been looming on the air, that revolution. You can tell it now. We have seen everything. Some Kenyans doubted the issue of football revolution when the FIFA ban came and there was a caretaker committee. People said this is it. Now that is gone and dusted. Now we have an interim committee. People who still don't believe in our, in our advocacy of the revolution, they will see in 5 weeks what is going to be done by the interim committee. And nothing that will solve the issues of Kenyan football. We are being told that the interim committee is going to make sure the leagues are managed here, there, all of that. Leagues can manage themselves. Leagues have managed themselves ever since time immemorial. The committees don't need to manage leagues. What the committees should have done, the caretaker committee and now the interim committee, what they should have done is to put a proper blueprint to revolutionize Kenyan football, to revolutionize Kenyan football economy. Because this is the only way our football is going to be beneficial to us as a country. Otherwise, there is no point of having football in the country, which is a burden and it does not help players, coaches, referees, the government, tax revenue, or anyone. It is actually a burden to our country, the Kenyan football. But this is a disaster. This is a tragedy, because Kenyan football should not be a curse. Kenyan football should not be a burden that it is now. The issue here is the tragedy of mismanagement of Kenyan football, the tragedy of lack of vision in Kenyan football, the tragedy of failing to develop Kenyan football, the tragedy of corruption in Kenyan football. Yeah, the tragedy of lack of futuristic approach to Kenyan football. That is where we want to go. And this is why I keep saying the only cure to our Kenyan football is a total revolution. When you talk of total overhaul, you are talking about FKF offices, yeah, officials being changed. That is called a total overhaul. That is not what is needed. Hapana. What we need is a clear football revolution that will sweep the country, that will actually make Kenya to have a new beginning in Kenyan football. This is the only way Kenya as a country is going to usher in a new era for football. For a long time, we have been talking about football revolution. We have been sharing our message with Kenyans for the last now 7 years. It is clocking now 7 years. I was on TV, NTV to be precise, in 2015, and I shared information and the vision that would liberate the Kenyan football economy, the vision that would revolutionize the Kenyan football. And I said this: if nothing is done, if drastic measures were not taken, Kenyan football, especially professional football, will become extinct in Kenya in 10 years' time. That was in 2015. Today, 2022, it is 7 years down the road. That warning has come to be true. The Kenyan football as it stands now, it is worse than it was in 2015. And where we are heading now, if changes in the form of a revolution are not induced, and I use the word induced, basically forced, because the football leadership has failed to reform itself and to reform the Kenyan football. Therefore, changes can only come through a method of inducement. Kufosiwa, to be forced. That's the only way the revolution is going to change the Kenyan football. And this revolution must be people-centered revolution. It must be inherited by the government, and the government must carry the revolution forward to change the Kenyan football. There's big talks about economic revolution right now in political circles. We cannot have an economic revolution in a country where we have football that is a burden to the taxpayers, football that is not paying well, football that is not useful to football players, football that no one wants to sponsor. Don't let me go back to 2019 when AFCON team, Kenyan team, taxpayer had to pay 8 million Kenya shilling for the kit for our team to play in Egypt for AFCON. What is this? Hii ni nini? That a taxpayer, Mama Mboga, is having to buy a kit for Harambee Stars when you know that they could get a serious sponsor. And this is happening across the country. This problem is cascaded from the national level to the grassroots. Hizi problems ziko tere. And it is because our football has become a rot, a burden, a useless football that is not worth its name. I want to say this: any future government, any incoming government must actually have a proper strategic focus on how football problems are going to be solved in Kenya. We have been saying it is not the issue of football presidents. It is not issue of football elections. It is not the issue of running the leagues. It is a revolution that needs to change everything in terms of Kenyan football, how we know it. We must trash, put in the bin what we call in Kenya as football, and start from a new slate. That is the only way. If we try to say, let us reform FKF, let us restructure here, let us do this, let us reconstitute FKF, we shall be in football wilderness for another 50 years. We have seen it enough. But if we start from a clean slate, if we have a new beginning, in only 5 years, Kenya is going to see a better football, a better shaped football economy. Every other problem will be addressed. But we cannot do the story of patching, viraka. As much as I want to congratulate Amina Mohamed for actually making a bold decision and creating the caretaker committee in 2021 on the month of November, the caretaker committee failed to do what it should have done. And I'm not going back to blame the CS. I want to say the caretaker committee had given an opportunity to say and to do and to force what is right for the Kenyan football. It did not happen. Therefore, if you have hope in this interim committee, ole wako. The only hope you should have is a football revolution hope for the Kenyan football. The football tsunami, the football earthquake is coming to Kenya. That is the only way for the Kenyan football forward. I want to say, have a good day. I leave you in peace. I'm gone. I'm Gakonga, your coach, and the pioneer of Vision Total Football Kenya, and one of the soldiers of Vision Total Football Kenya who want to see revolution in Kenyan football. We are all over across the country. People who have lost hope. People who are fed up with the Kenyan football system. People who want football to be what it is, to become an economic giant where anyone can benefit, where it is inclusive, where everyone is involved. Kenyan football is massive. We have a population of 50 million. Yeah? There is not enough coaches, not enough referees, not enough players. Everywhere you look in Kenyan football, it is total opportunities. But the mess is too big. The rot is too deep. FKF have to go. FIFA Normalization Committee cannot help us. Interim committee that has been put together by CS cannot help us. The caretaker committee failed to help us. Wakenya wenzangu, let us talk about a total football revolution. I leave you in peace. I'm gone.